Hey, what's up guys, this is Oakley and we have a treat for you today. This is going to be a 4 versus 4 combined arms Fall of the Samurai Shogun II hell of a battle. It's going to be a big one. So I'm going to put this on slow motion just because you can see our forces actually starting to rush out. So the bold player, who could this be? This is my my force. I'm going to be moving forward. I have, well, most of these forces are Fall of the Samurai. So I have a couple of Katana Kachi. I'm moving up here, 2 cavalry in the front, then some spear levies, a bunch of Red Bear positioned here, and then I have a couple White Tiger Force, which are basically the crap units, and those guys are going to be in the front just for probing duties. You'll notice that this map has a lot of force features. Let's go to my right flank. This is going to be, again, from the Zeal clan, Wild Goose. He's going to be moving up onto this hilltop position. A lot of his Yariki cresting the top of the hill, and I really love these Shogun II maps. They've been tuned and honed for multiplayer. They have a lot of strategy to them, and they have a lot of interesting customized parts to them. Over here, facing off against him, is actually going to be a traditional force, and this is probably the most difficult place to fight a traditional force. Traditional forces are something you have to kite and, you know, shoot from a distance. And look at this, a ton of Nodachi infantry. Almost all of these with some Yari, Ashigaru in the front just to screen them, but they're going to be barreling up this position, and there's going to be no stopping them with the hill advantage. The hills, you can see the undulation here. There's no way you can get some successful rifle fire, so we have to stop these guys from getting to the top of the hill, which we are sort of doing, but our forces are slow. We're going to go to the right. This is going to be, again, Heron from, once more, the Zeal clan. And he's going to be my main opponent. And he's going to be doing some preliminary screening against my cavalry. My cavalry were thinking of coming up here, hitting these Nodachi from the side. He was there to intercept me and prevent me from doing so. He's going to have a lot of these White Bear infantry, which are superior to mine. They're going to be pushing up. And then on his right, a couple other sort of random players who joined in. They have some very highly veteran units. Keep going down the line. Another force. The opponents have taken the hill, so this is going to be a little bit slower of a battle on this side. Tosa rifles especially. This is almost uncapturable. Facing off against him on our team is going to be Agony Achilles. He has his own YouTube channel. Some very interesting, actually, purple United States Marines. And we have some samurai heroes. That's something you don't see any all too often. So cool. Yeah, so a very, very huge mixed battle, and they're going to be moving up in the center. A lot of these hidden Ketai police force. So this is going to get started rather soon. Now let's get into it. We have combined Yariki pushing these positions. Let's just take a look at the Japanese forces swarming the forest. This is the epic scale Total War stuff that I love to see. I'm thinking of charging the opponents. You can see my spear levies moving forward. He's going to try and countercharge with my Yariki. I stop my infantry and I'm going to unleash on him. He's going to take out some of my Red Bear, but I have more reserve forces. God, this is going way too fast. Sorry. Yeah, so he breaks sort of against my Red Bear, but I knock out one of his Yariki and don't take too much damage. So I think that's to my benefit. And now we're going to be forcing his guys back. So we've been able to exchange pretty successfully with some Yariki, only losing maybe a third of my Red Bear infantry. And I pushed back up here with my spear levy, lost about 50 of them here, 10 here, and my Red Bear took 1 casualty. It was just to keep these guys from pushing forward, allow me to tank this fight with the Yariki. They're going to be charging forward, but mostly into my Katana Kachi. And I decide to pull back from this assault. I realize I am not quite ready. Look at all the opposing forces here. They were going to hit me in the flank, so I decided to pull back to the forest. A more sensible move. Meanwhile, like I said, this is going to be the very troublesome approach of the traditional samurai army. Actually, let's put this on play. And take a look at this. This is basically the start of The Last Samurai. If you guys have seen that movie with Tom Cruise, this is that opening scene where the totally unprepared samurai or sort of modern force faces off against the samurais. Oh my god, and yeah, just look how they're getting destroyed. Charged by the cavalry, Nodachi comes sweeping in. This is going to be, oh wow, just absolute massacre on all fronts. So we're going to try and come to the relief of this force, send in some of our cavalry. We're going to try and form up and counter that. Meanwhile, I send in some of my spear levies just to tie down these White Bear. So I'm going to be able to tie down a huge cluster of his force, and that's going to allow me to push up with more units. And especially my Katana Kachi were able to push into this part of the battlefield. Very, very crucial, you'll see later. Putting the Katana Kachi on the flank, and then also engaging with the cavalry. We're forcing them back. We're going to be breaking against this front, absolutely destroying them. We have some other Red Bear coming in on this side, so we were able to break this pretty successfully. Some of my own Red Bear are going to have some additional fire. We're breaking all of this, and more of my Katana Kachi are going to be moving in. And so now we're going to put pressure on this flank, and especially it was all about positioning this Red Bear infantry here on the flank. That's going to help us tie this down. You know, my push through the forest did not end in success, but it ended in enough of delaying tactics. Meanwhile over here, it's going to be slow and steady, so that's why we're focusing on this part of the battlefield. Let's go ahead and look at what's going on in this samurai massacre. So this is over pretty much. I mean, they're destroying Wild Goose's forces. All of his guys going down. Yeah. So we're going to slowly try and reform our army, send some reinforcements to salvage the situation. The rest of these units, I mean, the Imperial forces are just being absolutely destroyed, taken down by clusters of samurai forces chasing them down. And so now they're going to be pursuing at a distance. And this is where I decide to peel off a bunch of my reserve forces. Our ally sends in some Imperial Guard cavalry. Very, very useful cavalry who can help turn the tide and stem the advance right there. We're going to be shifting a lot of our forces on that side. You can see me peeling off a lot of dudes over there. Meanwhile, in this position, my Katana Kachi, that I told you were very important, have been able to stick it to the opponents, tie down this huge force. It's not going to allow them to form up in the massive line that they'd want. Meanwhile, we have some Yariki and some of my own Yariki have infiltrated the rear lines of the opponent, so now we're really threatening Heron's force here. I have White Tiger force, very crap units, just holding back Infanterie de Marine, who would love to get some great cost-effective kills, but no, they're being wasted in the forest. Meanwhile, I'm starting to wrap around this flank, getting a lot of overwhelming fire. And now here comes our force, trying to control the assault of the samurai coming down from the hill. We're going to reform behind our lines. And now we're going to get some initial shots of these guys. My guys shooting from over here, the Imperial Guard shooting them from over here. It looks like we're going to actually get a final volley against the Nodachi. So there you go. The rest of them are still teaming in the forest, cutting down the remainder of our guys. They do have some matchlocks, so we're going to try and reform and kind of sequester this force as best as we can. General units over here, that's our guy. Agony Achilles came all the way to this side of the battlefield to help out, and now I think we've successfully held that back. Meanwhile, this side of the battlefield, we're going to start sending some forays, but the rest of it is going to be fighting from the forest. Over here, I'm being a little bit more successful. My Katana Kachi still coming through here. Actually, one of them shattered, but the other one is kind of still going. Tying up huge clusters of the infantry, lots of kills, and they are buying time for my Red Bear to close the distance on the superior White Bear infantry. Really clean house, finally, at this position. I'm going to have superior fire on the Infanterie de Marine, taking them down a notch. White Tiger force even going to get some shots on. So this is an honor for these guys. They're pretty crap troops. Now they're going to get to shoot up some of the worst, or some of the better infantry. Imperial Guard cavalry are a godsend. They're going to be lending some supporting fire. More of my our Yariki in that mix. Some of my other Yariki are going wide, and they've been able to sort of chase after this general, force him to scoot out. So yeah, here comes the final turn. The rest of the samurai are kind of left on the hill. They're going to be coming down. And now we have more of our detachments coming in to deal with the samurai. The Imperial Guard cavalry, basically the household Imperial units here coming out of the palace. And look at this. They're just going to stare at the samurai, and the samurai are going to run in fear. Because in the open ground, there's nothing you can do against these Imperial Guard cavs. So the samurai have been forced to retreat back into the hills. Meanwhile, I'm breaking through Heron's force with the help of our allies. I'm positioning my Red Bear all throughout the forest, kind of making sure that wherever he runs, he's going to run into another one of my units. And now we're just having total suppressive fire on whatever's left over in that forest. You can see a bunch of enemy units milling about. And now I'm going to go wide, push around this flank. The United States Marines are going to be absolutely surrounded. My cavalry are going wide, and now we're going to be swinging around with our generals units and all that stuff. So going for the full surround here. The rest of this detachment is going to be doing almost a last stand up on the hill. So a lot of the enemy forces are actually going to be forced back onto the hill. This unit here, the samurai here doing a last stand, but the Imperial Guard cavalry, like I said, not much you can do against these guys. Although they are going to try and do a final stand and countercharge us. Meanwhile, over here, here's the last stand up on top of that hill. You can see their outlines up there. This is almost looking like a Battle of Gettysburg on a little round top type of battle. See our guys getting murderous fire on them. Some of my units are going to be pushing the very right, just trying to get point blank on those guys. I'm going to wait till we get this another volley. I think it's coming in soon. Here we go. Get ready to fire. And this should break that force up there. Come on. Nope. Oh, looks like that's a no-go. We're starting to break this. Over here, we were finally able to destroy the remainder of these units. Our surrounding tactics did work. My general actually charged into the mix. Thankfully, he's still alive. You can watch him cutting down the remainder of this detachment. So my general is going cluster to cluster, rallying my guys and slaughtering the remaining units. He's going to then go ahead, turn about, and do the same. Try and help us over here. Meanwhile, this hilltop position is not really holding out for long. A couple of the white bear holding out because they weren't on the crest of the hill, weren't taking too much damage. But here comes the rest of my units coming in. Overwhelming numbers, I think, is the name of the game here. Chasing down the last of the samurai. Now we can go ahead and see what's going on this part of the battlefield as it starts to collapse in. Our opponents drew back, and now they're going to be doing the another combined last stand up at the top of the hill. They moved down. They were able to pressure us back. Agony Achilles did a good job of just, biding time, holding the strong positions, and sending key units to make sure we won that side of the battlefield. And now here come my guys. Actually, if you take a look at my unit flag, I've been playing Zelda on the side with my girlfriend, so I'm kind of inspired by that. I have the Triforce units coming through here, and a little bit of the green and white suits. So these are my Hyrule warriors, I guess you could say. So here they go. They're pushing forward. This is all that's left of my force, and we're gonna form up kind of line to line and now start to press the assault. Couple remaining units out here. No, looks like we've broken them. Looks like the opponents are going to be countercharging us. The last of the Nodachi. They're going to break, I think, my red bear. Nope, the Imperial Guard cavalry still doing wonders for us. There we go. That's the last of the samurai right there. But they did... No, my guys are wavering. This force is also going to come back. So you can see how, everyone was sent to the far corners of the forest with the orders, surround and slaughter all who resist you. And this is the consequence of those orders. I mean, look at that. That's crazy. And so now is the final order. Is going to be push on the final hill that we've been waiting this entire time to take. And here comes the combined might of all of our forces. I'm telling my lines to move up, fire a shot, and then continue to move forward. Let's actually see what it looks like from the opponent's side. So here they go, trying to get some cover at the crest of the hill, trying to fall back to the superior Tosa rifles and whatever they have. And a couple of their units holding firm on the far flank, hoping they can get some shots against my guys. And they are punching pretty significant holes into that force. But now here comes a counter volley.
Victory is close, sir.
So with the forest, I mean, if they had even numbers with us, they might be able to win. But we have superior numbers. Continuous volleys. We're going to be pressing the assault all on this side. Now Agony Achilles is not holding back. And with this combined might, even some of our... I think this is a Boki. I think we have a samurai hero. Let's watch this guy. Kind of a traitor to his cause, fighting with the Imperial forces and just picking off these guys from a distance. So definitely awesome battle. I hope to do more of these in the future. That was freaking fun as shit. Let me know what you guys would like to see in the future. I sort of anticipate that you guys will want to see more of these, so I'll try and do more of these 4v4 Shogun ones. They are so fun. But if you have any specific requests, do you want to see traditional versus traditional, all follow the samurai, what maps, stuff like that. So leave those in the comments below, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the stats at the end of this. And here are the stats. Oakley coming in MVP once again. But again, another caveat is I always end up with the most units, so it makes sense that I get the most kills. But yeah, I think it was my Katana Kachi doing work. Wild Goose, who was up on the hill, faced off against the enemy samurai. They kind of ground each other to a pulp. Heron from the Zeal clan, who was my opponent, primarily got a good amount of kills against me as well. Let's go ahead and watch some of the unit stats. So my Yariki doing pretty good in that the penetration they had and getting behind the enemy force, but I'm looking around for who got the most kills. My Red Bear up here probably the ones doing cleaning up, mopping action, but here it is, the Katana Kachi, stick 'em with this end, is that name. 247 kills, so that's what I'm talking about. Those guys were very crucial, especially since those kills were against superior White Bear infantry. Very, very necessary. Kind of want to see how much the Samurai Hero got. Only 34 kills, so not too much for a hero. You can see the Imperial Guard Cav who came to our relief, 109, 119. Very, very useful units. Yeah, again, hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.